The 2XKO Alpha Lab is finally here for people to play. If you were lucky enough to get a code, you have been invited to try a very early version of 2XKO. With 6 different characters, 4 different stages, a fully functional online lobby, and battle pass, 2XKO has a lot for you to explore in this early state. So let's have a look at it together. Let's talk about 2XKO's Alpha Lab. I was extremely lucky to get one of the first rounds of code for Alpha Lab. I may or may not have leveraged my position as big YouTube funny man does the dance that might have influenced the development team, or I'm a lucky son of a bitch. Who can say? But I have finally been able to actually play the game. I have finally gotten my grubby, disgusting, greasy hands on it. And I've got a couple of things that I want to talk about. I'm going to start with the things that I really like, then go into some things that I'm feeling a bit iffy on, and then things that I don't like, but am more worried about. This is also a very early impression of the game. I will have my full, robust feedback later after the alpha test is finished. And as a general reminder, this is an alpha test, so I'm not going to be harsh on bugs or polish or anything. The fact that we get to play the game in this early state is honestly a miracle. So how about we start with the things that I like? The developers did one amazing thing, something that I cannot praise them enough for. The core gameplay loop of 2XKO is very fun. A lot of the mechanics in this game take from the best parts of older Versus games. The movement is extremely inspired by Marvel. By pressing light and medium, you are able to dash forward, and if you press back light and medium, you're able to dash back. You can cancel any dash with a down input, meaning that you can then go into any option, like another dash. Most of the characters in the cast can wave dash, with only a couple not being able to. While characters do have their general universal options, they still manage to do something really impressive. They all feel extremely unique. I've not had a lot of time to play with all of the characters, and I am definitely drifting towards some more than others, but all these characters have interesting and unique things that they can do that other characters can't. Granted, no one in the alpha test is really a zoner kind of character. Everyone's sort of a rushdown or grappler or just a big body kind of thing. So we don't have anyone that's really sending things from the other end of the screen, which I like, but yeah. What am I talking about? If you don't know, the game has simple inputs. There are 0 motion inputs here, but despite that, the combos are still long, with lots of opportunities for players to be able to experiment and do crazy shit. I found like 3 different B&Bs on Yasuo, all using different routes, and they all feel really cool to use and use different tools. All of the characters look amazing as well. The graphic style that they have chosen is absolutely amazing. It's not quite as exaggerated as something like an Arc System Works game, but it still has a absolutely beautiful look to it and fits in with the look of League of Legends very well. The stages are amazing, the characters look amazing, and the lobby is kind of fun. Now, if there's one thing that people have sort of pointed to and gone, what the fuck, it's the lobbies, but I have to be a bit of a weirdo here. I like goofy lobbies, and I basically always have. Yes, a text lobby is objectively a better way to do things, but being able to customize my own avatar into anything that I like and go in and fight people in a virtual physical space is really cool. Not to mention you can make the purple guy. Speaking of fighting online, the netcode is amazing. It just is. There was no doubt in anyone's mind that the 2XKO netcode was going to be good. Tom and Tony kind of made GGPO after all, so giving them budget and an actual way to use server infrastructure was going to lead to amazing netcode. And yeah, it's great. A lot of the time, I kind of forget that I'm playing online. I haven't stress tested it yet, and I don't exactly know if I can, but just playing people in the same region leads to lag-free, extremely reactive, and fun matches. The game's fun to play, the characters are really cool looking and unique, the netcode is absolutely amazing, and it's got a silly lobby. So what do I have to worry about? Well, the version of matchmaking that we have is a little bit funky. It would be no surprise that I am a big fiend for good matchmaking, and I do not worry that Riot will eventually put in some kind of dedicated MMR-based matchmaking system. It's Riot fucking Games. That's their MO. However, the one that we have is a little bit weird. You basically have 3 ways to get into a match. You can approach someone and challenge them to a match. You can sit down in a cabinet and wait for someone to come to you, or you can go into a matchmaking queue. Now, the matchmaking queue is the thing that I've used the most. However, the small problem with it is it's kind of mid. From the looks of it, all it does is find people who are already sat down at setups and direct you to go and play them. This is fine, but it kind of requires someone to make that initial move for them to go and sit down, instead of just taking 2 people that are standing around in the lobby and pushing them towards it. This might just be a thing that I've found. If other people are also in the queue, it might push them towards it, and it might have just been because everyone was fighting their friends in the lobby that I was in. But it doesn't feel very good. I've already had situations where I've kind of just been stood around for minutes waiting for a match. Again, this is a nitpick. It's not something that I really don't like. Worst case scenario, I go sit down at a setup and do what I actually do when I go to locals and just wait for someone to show up. But I would like an actual matchmaking system. As I said before, I'm not going to harp on bugs and things like that because this is a alpha. However, there are quite a few visual bugs that you can find pretty easily. If you do an ultimate and then reset the training mode, the background's just there, which is a cute little bug, I will say. It's very fun. And when you rematch someone while in the lobby, you can see pieces of the lobby in the black background. There's also the thing where the audio desync with the intro. These are all very minor things, though. I've not found anything that's game-breaking or utterly terrible. I will say, I have had problems with Vanguard before, which I know isn't the team's fault, but I hate that system. I'm putting it here now. I get that the game needs anti-cheat, but I have had days lost to Vanguard trying to fucking figure out how to get it to work. Why I never got into Valorant. And also, Valorant sucks. The menus, while looking nice, can definitely be a little bit confusing at the moment. I remember trying to leave an online lobby forced me to quit the game because the bottom option was quit the entire game instead of quit to menu, which was kind of funny. Also, finding the quit game button could be a little bit weird. The fact that training mode is behind play is also a little bit weird. The battle pass being front and center and the training mode not is funny. I'll say that much. Finally, that shit look like the battle pass. With this, we can kind of see the monetization that Riot was going to do, and yeah, it's what everyone expected. Cosmetics and battle passes. Nothing really surprising here. Other fighting games have already started doing this. Tekken 8, Street Fighter 6, Grand Blue Fantasy vs. Rising. We already kind of knew we were going to get battle passes and cosmetics, and that's fine. I have no real problem with this. Just know that it's there. I will say the missions being so vague and easily obtainable is nice, though. Finally, some things that I'm worried about. I don't want to say that these are bad because these are things that will eventually define the game. They're just concerns I already have. And the biggest one is people are already finding Touch of Deaths. I expected TODs to show up eventually. I knew that this is a versus game, and because of that, Touch of Deaths were inevitable. It's just how it happens. It happens in basically every tag game. But like, it's day 1 of the alpha test, and people are already posting Touch of Deaths. Little bit concerning. Just a tad. Just a smidge. Granted, most of these require an insane amount of resources and specific fuses. It's not like one character can TOD on their own or without any meter, which is a good sign, but fear, 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 fear. Speaking of the fuses, it kind of feels like some of them are just objectively better than the other ones, and some of them I feel like just should be natural stuff. The one that I play the most with is the one that lets you use the other character's super after you use your own. This is a standard feature in a lot of tag games. In fact, I can't really think of a tag game that doesn't let you do this. And while it is very good, I am worried that it's going to be overshadowed by the one that lets you tag twice during one sequence, because that one just feels like it's going to be way better. This isn't a massive criticism to all of them. I understand that Pulse is meant to be outgrown. You're meant to use Pulse while you're learning the game and then move on to a different one, but it is a worry that I have. I don't really know how I feel about the fuse system. part of me thinks that most of them should just be, like, in the game anyway. Like, you should just be able to DHC. Then again, it's a design choice, so I'm not going to really say too much on it. I'm going to play the game more and really figure out how I feel about this, but just know, day negative fucking 200 and some, the fuses still feel imbalanced. Also, I get that this is a design choice, but there's no way to snap, which I found kind of weird. This isn't the only tag game that's not done this. BB Tag has no snap option, but just not being able to bring out the opponent's assist when the opponent's assist is low health is strange to me. Not really a downside. Snap tends to have very, very, very strong properties when it's originally put in. Dragon Ball FighterZ has an entire snap meta around it, and I'm pretty sure MVC3 had unblockables based on snap. But I don't know. It's kind of weird, don't you think? Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me being stupid. Things I can't comment on right now, I've not played 2v2 or 2v1. I have always been on my own controlling both characters, so I don't really know how it feels to play with someone else. I'm a very lonely man with no friends. If you would like to be my e-girl kitten to play... If you would like to be my e-girl kitten in 2XKO, I'm taking applications now. I can't say that with a straight face. But extremely early impressions, I'm impressed. I'm very, very, very impressed. The game is fun, and a lot of the things I'm pretty sure are just going to be ironed out. And the things that I'm worried about, I'm sure will be addressed by the developers. I'm pretty sure they don't want people TODing each other on round start. Pretty sure. Thank you all for watching, though. If you would like to see 2XKO gameplay footage live, I am streaming live right now. Right now. At this moment. Right now. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be good. Come on over. We might even get to play in a team or something. I don't know. I've basically just been playing Yasuo. My Braum is terrible. Thank you all for watching. Subscribe if you'd like to see more 2XKO stuff coming in the future, because I have some silly things planned for later the next week. I will see you all next week. As always, a very special thanks to 64MHz, Almost Nap Time, Axolotl, Syndicate, Daniel Wiedericht, Edison Lottery, Fexo, Games.png, Haywire Novalit, Hoffmeister Bear, I Am Naoto, It's Riley, Knife and Spoon, Criticat MP04, Mr. Clen, Nubus, Ray W, Sergeant Cubby, Super, Storm SSB, Tom Tanks, Velvet Puppy, and Zandatsu for being Tier 2 patron supporters.